your goals for 2020 were interesting. Just so you know out there, I asked for 5 words on each of these topics so that I have an idea of where you're thinking and where you're going. Off the record, I think we probably talked a little bit about some of those off the records. Value add, lead gen, and Puppet Master. I want to know more about Puppet Master, please.
That was the off-the-record part. So
I see.
It's the Puppet Master word is a word that I was only going to use internally, but we're just going to let it go, right?
Get ready for the real estate show that takes you across the barriers and into the danger zone. That Bitchin' Real Estate Podcast with your host, Tenacious T.
And I can splice it out later if you
like.
No,
we're going to go with it. So the brokerage, I own a brokerage called Sterling Fine Properties, and there's 44 realtors. And the beginning of the brokerage 5 years ago was I knew how to generate leads, and I knew how to matriculate leads, and I knew how to follow up with leads, and I knew everything about leads.
Yes.
So I thought that if I delivered leads to realtors, that those realtors would take over the job and just make money, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And it doesn't work
there you
like
go.
that.
There's your leads. Get to work. I mean, that's what we do. I've mentored plenty too. And here you go. Get to work. What do you mean you can't get to work? Yeah, no, I get it.
Yes. So when the first cycle of business, I mean, the buying motivated sellers that want to sell their house and are distressed in financial or physical distress situation, that's easy because I'm an expert at the asset itself, right?
Right.
I know what to do with the asset. I can do short-term rentals. I can do long-term rentals.
Oh,
I can
you know
flip
it too.
a house.
You're good.
I can do whatever it is from
Yes.
an asset perspective. But the transactional side, the agency side, the negotiation of contract, I assumed that I could give leads to people who knew how to work with homeowners.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden it would just kind of work, and it didn't. And so the word Puppet Master isn't me. It is definitely me doing this. But the brokerage was supposed to be a vision of, okay, a realtor needs a bookkeeper and an accountant and a marketer and a social media manager and a follow-up inside salesperson and a listing and an open house. It's so many things.
And most of the time, you have to put that all in one person, especially in the beginning.
Correct.
Because a new real estate agent can't hire all those people. You have to learn how to be those people until you make enough money to hire those people.
Let's just take national models, and they say, hey, here's the corporate sponsored brochure.
Sure.
And everyone looks at that corporate sponsored brochure, and that's not Tenacious D. That's not giving the expression of tenacity, right?
No.
And so GeoPoint data is designed to figure out who is going to be most likely to engage with your offering, but you're your own person, right? And so you can't go into a corporate structure or a prepackaged template of 10 different postcards and text messages and voicemails and scripts and all of these things that you need in order to be successful in the lead generation business, right? So if you can't do that, who's going to? You either have to write lots of checks or you have to do it all yourself. And in both of those scenarios, it's only the strongest survive in anything, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that hard. And the real estate disruptors that are trying to take all the realtors' jobs are sitting there from Wall Street and Silicon Valley pressing these buttons. They're the true puppet masters. But the difference is that they're relying on $25 an hour employees here in the Phoenix metropolitan area to negotiate and communicate with the homeowner, right?
Right.
So who's going to do a better job? Kimberly or that $25 or $35 or $55 Zillow employee, right?
Yes.
Definitely not that employee. It doesn't matter. Those guys are salespeopeople. They're not part of the community. They're not looking in the best interest for the community. They don't go to school and play soccer and do all these things with the homeowners' kids, right?
They've lost the human element.
So a real estate disruptor will be able to take that low-hanging fruit, and that's what I basically did from 2003 to 2008. It was just easy. Nobody else knew how to predict a sale or a move inside of a 6-month period. Nobody else knew that you could call a homeowner and make a cash offer and have your cost per contract or listing. You know, if you were.
So you were Zillow before Zillow was Zillow.
I've been Zillow since 2003.
Oh, I like it. So, yes.
Yeah. So the puppet master becomes saying, okay, well, I can't help you be a brander. I can't take you and your person as a person and make it what you want, but I can deliver you the tools and the infrastructure that you need to take your brand and your persona and talk to the right people, right? And so that's kind of That's my value add.
So Sterling Fine Properties is an innovator and the original Zillow.
Let's say Defrates Group is an innovator, and Sterling Fine Properties is one of many recipients, right?
Gotcha.
And so the biggest, that's kind of what I was describing, is that the Sterling Fine Properties, when you look back, I have amazing realtors that work with me every single day, and they do that because they're looking to me as, hey, this guy knows what he's doing over here, and so I can always rely on him to help me figure it out, right?
Yep.
But the systems and the processes is what they actually needed from when I started this company 5 years ago.
100%.
And so that's what I put all of my effort into in the past at least 3.5, 4 years is to give the realtors at Sterling Fine Properties the best opportunity that they possibly could. But it won't be my realtors. My realtors all have their own business, and one guy is in the horse community, and he's never going to take any of my GeoPoint data, and Williams Luxury Homes has a very, very high-end business that they're doing amazing business, and they're not going to have significant value add for going after distressed homeowners, or they might use our data and say, okay, I want to find all of the vacant homes in Paradise Valley and Scottsdale,
horse riders or what have you.
Because COVID-19 is about to come. Like hint, realtors, the most valuable thing you could possibly do is find vacant homes in Scottsdale and Paradise Valley because COVID-19 is about to come, and anybody that can drive to Arizona is going to want to be in Arizona than any city in all of California.
Yes.
So that's the macro hint,
That's so interesting. I always love to hear about the innovative ideas and designs. And again, stalking you, you are ahead of your time. You always kind of have been ahead of your time, and that's part of your love for the solution. You want to stay that way too, and it's refreshing to see the joy that not only has come from being a father, but that has almost sparked again the creation and innovation of even more in your future.
Yeah.
We're going to segue into the famous questions.
Great.
Since we're in the real estate zone and being innovative, what is your favorite word?
Goddamn right.
Goddamn right? Please explain further.
Because I go down these rabbit holes and I have a hard time communicating what is in my head to other people.
Gotcha.
When someone actually repeats what I said, then it's a confirmation that I've done my job in communicating what I thought they needed to hear. And so, goddamn right.
I love it.
That's it.
Yeah, because that is your validation. That is, you've gotten it. You've put your point across. You've gotten it right. Yeah, I love that. What is your least favorite word?
I don't know if it's a word. There are people in everyone's lives who will just bring the wrong energy to the situation. And so there's just so many ways to express the wrong energy to come to the table with, right?
Yeah.
And so if somebody comes to the table with the energy says that I would rather talk about the problem than create the solution, then those are the words that I would look at you with disgust.
Yes. So come to the table fresh, come to the table ready to receive, not with the blocks of a problem that you're not willing to solve.
That's right.
Yeah, love that. So this one I was really curious about. I think I know the answer to it, but you just opened your eyes in the morning. You've got a really, really packed day. You've got your family you want to pay attention to. You're already feeling, even when you wake up in the morning, you're already feeling, oh gosh, I've got to get going. It's a tough schedule. What turns you on? What puts you in that place where you're just, yeah.
I have a few.
Go.
So I have a kind of a ritual. I will wake up, and it depends on what season it is. So right now I wake up, and as soon as I get out of bed, I work till probably 12:30 or 1 a.m. every day. And then I wake up at about 7:15 or 7:30 a.m. And then immediately I go to the park with Diego.
Nice.
And so we go and swing. He loves swinging. And so
Yes.
we talk about things, and we do math with our fingers. And so we swing, and then I come home, and breakfast is usually ready. And so if Diego is doing something different, then I play speed chess. And so so I eat breakfast and I play speed chess, and that gets my brain fired up. And then it's either I will lose my speed chess game and be annoyed and stop playing, and then I will switch into my ta-da list, is maybe what you were thinking I was about to talk about. And so then I have a ta-da list, which is like a to-do list. But when you are done with the accomplishments, you publicly exclaim, ta-da!
Yeah,
right?
ta-da, your ta-da.
Ta-da!
Yeah, you had that down here, your ta-da list.
Yeah. So that ta-da list is it used to be just kind of mapping out the top 5 priorities of the day, but it became complicated and overwhelming because there were so many priorities in the 6 different businesses I run. So it became like, here are the week priorities and here are the day priorities, and they're kind of in columns. And so I get to do 2 different ta-das, but it's the ta-da list. And so I organize that in the morning.
If you don't check off everything on that ta-da list, is that difficult for you, or are you okay with that?
No, it's, yeah. I have spent a few years trying to figure out myself as a person, and I'm definitely not okay with that.
Right. And that's good to know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we have to delve into ourselves and our needs and what we have to get done. What do you do when you're at the end of the day and you've got maybe 2 or 3 boxes you haven't finished yet?
Yeah. So now my new habit is to journal about it, right? Nice. And so if I haven't completed those tasks, then it's possible I just had too much expectation for the day, you know? But it's also possible that I did something in the day that wasn't helpful to my general purpose. And so I hope to use the end of my day to try to cement that thought. If I have something hanging on my shoulders before I go to bed, I try to say, well, if I didn't get all of these ta-das done, then did I do something better, right? Which is completely valid, right? Yeah. Or did I fuck off for a little bit? And that's where you get to self-reflect and write down what you did or why you did it, and you try to make that better.
So along the same lines, what turns you off? What is that thing that will make you just stop in your tracks and be like, okay, I cannot do this. I'm going to step back, because that is a non-negotiable. That is a turnoff.
When I can see that somebody can do something, but they won't.
It's the can't.
Yeah.
That's a big one. That's very common. Yeah. Why is that? And it is for me too. Why is that such a turnoff? Is it because maybe you've been able to push through all of your cants in your life, and it's kind of an excuse?
Still am. You know, I every single day I wake up and push through cants. It's that's definitely one of them.
So what do you tell to, and he probably hasn't said it yet, but what would you say to Diego if he said, Daddy, I can't do that?
He said, I can't do that. And every conversation is a challenge, both on me as a person and what I want to help create as a person, and you want to hope that you can step back a second and understand why that can't came out of his mouth. And sometimes that's really hard, and sometimes that's easier. I think that the first solution is to get the why, and then once you get to the why, then you understand his purpose. And if you can understand his purpose, then you can react in a way that will keep the relationship going as opposed to taking the relationship.
I will have you all know, every single coach and entrepreneur I have talked to, that is exactly what they do. And that's what makes a successful person, is finding the why, the reason the block is there, breaking that down so that you can sweep it away and eliminate it and move forward. That's beautiful. I love it. So this is like one of my favorite questions, and we'll bleep it out so Diego can watch. What is your favorite curse word? Some say shucky darn. Doesn't have to necessarily
goddamn right
be.
is pretty is on there, right? So I mean, I probably have a few. I use curse words to express my passion frequently. Yes. And so I think that I would probably use all of them in any given situation. So goddamn right is probably still my...
So if you're, let's say you're driving in traffic and something's happening, what's that word that just pops out of your mouth?
A long time ago, in Chicago, I had a situation where I was kind of that young kid having fun, and there was an angry driver. Chicago's just kind of a pent-up aggression town. Sure. And so that angry driver, I was having fun with him, maybe throwing a finger or something. Yeah. But there we came to a light in traffic, and he was 3 cars behind, and he gets out of my car and he starts walking towards me, and I'm just praying that light turns, and and then the light turns. But this is Chicago, and there's a light every city block, and so
and you're like, thank you, Jesus. I mean,
I try not to express public frustrations,
Yeah.
but my new thing is this, you know. So when someone's
the fist up.
the fist of
Hey,
rage,
buddy,
you know?
okay,
there's-
no,
I always
that's
do it with
hilarious.
a smile, because again, if you can figure out that everybody has a day,
Yeah.
and you know, you're driving in the car, and you're never going to see that person again unless you do, you know. And so
That is hilarious. I would be very nervous if someone was walking up to my car. Oh boy.
yeah.
Okay, so I think I know the answer to this one too, but let's see what you say. What noise or sound you love just puts you in that place of...
The most recent one, there's a guy here locally named Justin Haynes, and he was doing having a conversation with somebody, and he recommended the 7.83 hertz recording.
Yes.
And so there's one called Secrets of the something, 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 and it's
The
on
frequency,
iTunes.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that one has been my most recent one. So now it used to be like I have a playlist in the shower, and now I have that going in the shower, and it allows me to kind of find that space.
So you're looking for that frequency, that vibe, that noise that lifts you when you hear it. Yes, I do too. That's where I get lost for an extra hour in my meditation. Feels so good. What noise or sound do you hate? Or let's use the word dislike. We're not going to use hate on the show anymore. Leaf blower.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, when I'm trying to get work done in my backyard and my landscapers come in, it's like, well, there goes my next 60 minutes,
Right.
you know? Yeah. I loud talking, like my son's iPad in a loud shrieking
Yes.
drives into my brain like you wouldn't believe, and it takes so much patience to ask him to turn that thing down nicely. Like, how can you not feel that that's the worst thing in the entire world for your brain?
Yeah, when they get about 9, 10, 11, you're like, turn it down or mommy's taking that from you. I can relate to that, though. There is those voices and those things that a lot of the times the kids aren't paying attention to, and it's shrieking. It's a shrieking noise in the ear. Okay, so you've done a lot of things in your life, and you've been an entrepreneur your whole life. I want you to think back to maybe in school, in high school, maybe a lofty dream. What would your profession have been if real estate and investment was off the table?
I am glad that I watched Scott Marlowe's before this, because this would have caught me completely off guard. But when I was driving here, I came up with what I actually would be able to say most honestly. I wanted to be everything that every kid wanted to be, you know, and the one in high school that I thought I was actually going to go after was a pediatrician.
Fascinating.
Nah, I have a more fun one.
Okay.
And so, but my when I don't want to do anything with my brain, then I read spy novels. And so I wanted to legitimately in high school, I wanted to be, when I grew up, I wanted to have enough money to have an international network of houses and be able to help with the spy network. That was kind of my dream,
awesome.
you know?
So awesome. I would join you on that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I love finding information and research.
That's right.
And we could wear like the fedora and the raincoat and
Talk about
just be
mysterious
around.
things. That's
right. What is that show? Monk? I think Monk was. There was another one. Columbo. You're probably too young for this one. Spy Hunter was an arcade game that I played all the time. You're way too young for that.
No, I don't know. Spy Hunter, yep.
But yeah, I like that. And you would actually be really, really good at that. You know this.
I could.
But yeah,
I think
very interesting. Maybe one of the boys will take to forensic science. Or
I do own a bunch of houses, so we could kind of figure out how to.
That would be cool.
I got it started, you know.
So if you were listening to Scott, you know the next question is going to be that celebrity, famous person, dead or alive, that influencer that you could have dinner with. Who would it be and why?
Again, Scott had such great answers. It would be hard to, I'm also not a outgoing person. Like this is not my thing.
Right.
And so all of these things that Scott was saying, I was like, shit.
You took my answer. Damn it.
So Elon Musk was definitely my answer,
Yeah.
but for a different reason. I'm in the real estate industry, and I like to describe it as the things that I build. When the tides rise, all the ships rise. So
Sure.
if we wanted to have a conversation about real estate and data and the call gurus afterwards, then I would think that your ship would rise with me, right?
Sure.
And so Elon Musk, what I see him having done was finding the most complicated thing that he knew how to solve, which was basically keeping really smart engineers motivated.
Yeah.
And once he has those really smart engineers, then he can build anything he wants, right? So that's that one. Elon Musk would for that reason. Because that's basically what I'm trying to do in the real estate world, right?
Right. We're going to go to the third one now. And he's going to tell us where he's going to take him to dinner, or her.
Everyone should read the book Principles by Ray Dalio if they haven't already.
Ray Dalio. I have not. I have not read that one.
He built the largest bond fund, and you could compare it to like multiple world economies,
Yeah.
and was able to instill into a very large organizational structure the principles of the organization without having to communicate to those people that he doesn't communicate with very often.
Sure.
And so that was kind of the last piece that I felt like I was missing in my life. And so
I have to read that now. I mean, we all have our areas where we have our weaknesses, and that is one of mine. Where would you take him to dinner?
here or in the
Just
world?
like, let's just say you've got the opportunity to take him to dinner. Where are you going to go? Just have a quiet atmosphere. What would be your main goal with that?
I could do both at Ocean 44.
Nice.
So that's, they have those like pods that are kind of back in there. So
I've been there one time. I'm going to have to go again.
you should definitely
great
should
food.
get the bone-in filet mignon and make sure that it's the 3-inch, because if it's too short, you won't get the big red thickness,
Right. Well, I just went vegetarian, so that one's not going to work.
Well, you get to cheat every
How's
once
the
in a while,
fish?
don't you? There you go.
I do.
exactly.
You got to have a little bit of protein, a little bit of meat here and there. But
Unless your body forgets how to use it, and then it would be.
Yeah, it can backfire. Be careful out there. It's been almost a year for me being vegetarian, but I do eat a little bit of meat. So Ocean 44, yeah, I love it. Well, thank you for coming on the show today.
Appreciate having me.
How do people get a hold of you?
Dustin Defrates Group.com is what everything that I do, everything that I publicly talk about is on DefratesGroup.com.
Nice.
And then Dustin Defrates on Instagram or Dustin Defrates on Facebook.
And we'll have all that floating. If you've seen any of my videos, I'll add those in and floating around.
Yeah.
And I am thrilled to have you in here. I've been wanting to actually have you on, and I figured this would be the perfect time post-COVID with an innovative thinker and developer and solutionist.
If you don't mind, I'd like to take the opportunity to say we're actively pursuing 3 people in this market and 3 people in a couple other markets to run some infrastructure that we've built as a test run.
Nice.
So if anybody out there is spending $10,000 a month or more on their marketing, I'd be very interested in having a conversation about how we might be able to help them build their business.
Oh, I love it.
From a value add puppet master perspective.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a follow-up in the fall to see if you got those people you can test and see if we can go back on and tell everyone how it's doing. And
I'm
where
excited
it's
to do
going.
that.
So
Let's
that's
do this.
awesome. Yeah. Kimberly Toko, Tenacious T, thank you again for joining me.